Even though the storm has been downgraded, Florence has caused at least 17 deaths in North Carolina and 6 in South Carolina. While residents are relying on local, state, and federal authorities, there are volunteer groups, like the Cajun Navy, that traveled to other states to help out. We caught up with Fleet Captain Jordan Bloodsworth to talk about how this storm compares to previous ones and how volunteers prepare for them. The Cajun Navy has completed a lot of rescue missions, so talk to me about Hurricane Florence. How has that been different compared to the missions you guys have been on previously?
This one's been a big challenge just because we're not as familiar with the area. Even last year in Houston, things like that, we were somewhat familiar. It's similar terrain to us home in Louisiana. So coming up here, it's not, the elevation isn't much different, but it's kind of hilly, and we don't know where the creeks run and the rivers run and just kind of how everything flows and their landscape and drainage and things like that. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, and knowing where our boats will be able to work and who needs to be going where. The guys at the EOC that we are at in Pender County have done a great job. They're organized and they're keeping us going. And they're doing their best to utilize us, keep us safe. So it's been great to work with them, but it's just a couple little situations that we're just unsure of because they've never experienced anything quite like this either.
Right, so we know that the hurricane has been downgraded, or the storm rather, has been downgraded from a hurricane, but there's still a big risk of flooding. So how long do you think the Cajun Navy will plan to stay in the area?
Depending on where you are or where some of our teams might be is going to be up to them, really. We're actually trying to plot a way for some of us to get out now just from where we are, because now that the original floodwaters have receded for the most part that were due to the rain that sat on us for a few days, now that's flowing out and into the river systems, and they're predicting the river systems to be anywhere from some of them going about 6 feet over flood stage to some rivers going maybe 20 feet over flood stage. So once all that water drains off the roads and out of these neighborhoods and stuff into the river, it's just going to backflow again and turn everything into a bigger, heavier flood. So if we don't make somewhat of a move now, we could be stuck for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and a lot of these guys will be on islands for that much time.
So there's typically not much time given for warnings of these storms, right? We learn days before that a hurricane might be coming. So how does the Cajun Navy prepare in such a short amount of time? Walk me through the process. Do you guys work with other teams? How do you divide and conquer?
We try to put together, a rough plan all off season, so to speak, when it's not hurricane season, of just being prepared, having all of our things together, and being ready to go quick, on a moment's notice, so we can just grab what we need, have it all together, get out and on the road to where we need to go as quickly as possible. And at that point, it's just getting in touch with EOCs or anyone like that, because we don't want to go in somewhere without permission or without law enforcement, anything like that. We don't want to cause a problem. We're here to help. So we're under them. If they want us, they'll keep us. If not, if they think they've got it, we just reach out to more agencies, and typically somebody asks for us to stay and help.
And how useful have social media apps like Facebook and Twitter been in your rescue operations?
Pretty helpful. A lot of people we get originally will go to Facebook and post for help. It does kind of become cluttered, though. Often we'll start getting repeat calls and people are begging for stuff that's been taken care of or is old, and so it does become a little bit of a clutter. So we try to stay off of Facebook, I guess, not as much as we can, but we monitor it. We have people at home in different states monitoring that full time just to catch the new ones and answer those people. But different apps like Zello and our maps and Waze, things like that are huge for us for communication.
And we know that the Cajun Navy rescues people, of course, but there are also a lot of pet rescues. So talk to me about that. Are there certain people or groups within the Cajun Navy that go out specifically for pet rescues? I mean, what has that experience been like in this storm?
No, nothing specific. A life's a life. So when we're out there, we take people, pets, anything. If we can get to pets and there's no people and we have a place we can take them, we try to take anything. There's guys that have saved, rabbits, chickens, and pig, anything. If we can put them in a boat and maneuver things safely and navigate, we'll take anything. So before the storm hit, a few of our guys were organizing pet evacuations with some of the shelters around South Carolina, North Carolina border, I believe. But so we had donations of kennels coming in from really across the country, and they were kenneling up the pets from the shelters and shipping them out and getting them to safety before it was a rescue issue for them.